Thank you for tuning in to Straight Facts. We're talking Miles Lewis-Skelly. His ears offered to Man United and Chelsea. We're talking Enzo Fernandez and a potential £120 million move to Manchester City. Barcelona and their pursuit of Julian Alvarez. Many reports from Spain last night that deal is often dead. Will Arsenal or should Arsenal try and hijack it? Should that be where the Vinicius Junior money goes? We're taking a look at those stories today, plus Fabrizio retiring from transfer news. I want to get LB's take on that, but yours as well in the audience today. Plus, any questions you guys have, any stories you want us to jump on, speak about, hear our opinions on, feel free to put that into that comment section below. Do us a favor before we go any further and get that like button hit for us today. Get this shared across your social media platforms. Done. There are other reports. This is the balance for the sausages that are saying that he's going to really push to get out, but he will end up damaging his relationship. Players in his own squad are frustrated with him, which does suggest there's not going to be that much of a way back in for him, even if he doesn't get the Barca move. Do you think Arsenal should try and hijack this? Do you think he's going to Barcelona? Like, how do you view this deal? Because it's been, I mean, our clubs get stick for not getting stuff done early, but this Barca deal and Alvarez has been going on now since about the 25th of May, and it still feels nowhere closer to a resolution. How do you view it in terms of where he's going to end up? Should Arsenal get involved? Should they just step away completely and move on to somebody else? How do you see that transfer in itself, LB?
No, I think Arsenal will 100% get involved, because that striker that they've got up top that they paid 60 million for, in my view, is useless. He is terrible, right? And no one is going to be able to convince me otherwise. Yeah, you can say what you want. I do not rate him one little bit. I think they won the league last year in spite of Gyökeres, not because of him. Yeah, I think if they got a top-tier striker in there, and they have to learn from the mistakes here, yeah, you have to get someone that can play the system that I think that Arteta wants to play, which is link up more. His link up play is terrible, Gyökeres. Yeah, Alvarez link up play is very good. He can score goals, he can create set pieces, mint, free kicks, scored a few for us. I think this is an unreal opportunity for Arsenal to upgrade. An unreal opportunity. Yeah, and actually keep him on a bench if you want, Gyökeres. If you think he's mint, keep him on a bench. I don't think he's mint. I'd sell him. You know what I mean? I think Havertz is a better striker, and so is Marino. He'd be my fourth choice striker if I was Arsenal manager. So yeah, 100% show a bit of ambition, man. The guy's not good enough. That Gyökeres ain't good enough to lead the line. Yeah, that's why the guy brought Havertz back in. Yeah, because Havertz offers more. Yeah, all right, he might not be as clinical in front of goal, but he does way more for the team. Now, whether you agree with that or not, that's what Arteta wants. So you might as well get a striker that can actually do what Arteta wants. Otherwise, you've got to change the manager. Whatever, you got to change the manager, go change the manager. That's not my problem. But I don't think Gyökeres suits the way that Arteta wants to play. So you got to change it. Change the striker or change the manager. That's the thing for me. And if you can go and get Alvarez, he's technically on another level to Gyökeres. Technically on another level. He'll score more goals than Gyökeres in that side. He'll link up the play better than Gyökeres will in that side. He's just better. It's just a different tier, Terry. It's a different tier for me. Now, personally, I still think they need to look at that left wing option. Yeah, I don't know much about the Solis guy, yeah, because I've never seen him play. But yeah, unless he's like a serious upgrade on Martinelli, then I still think they need to do that. But I've said also, I don't think Arsenal need to do a lot of business. They've got Bruno G, fantastic signing. Get a striker to replace Gyökeres. Get a left winger. Jobs are good. They don't need to be going out there buying 5, 6, 7 players. Yeah, why not? Go splash the cash. You just won the league. Go splash the cash and do a serious upgrade. You know how mad that would be if they got Alvarez? You know how much fear that would strike into rivals if they got Alvarez? Because I'm telling you, man, not a lot of rivals are scared of Gyökeres, mate. I swear down. No, I rate that Sesko way higher than Gyökeres. I think Sesko's clear of Gyökeres, mate. I'm gonna be real. Yeah, I don't reckon many people are scared of that Gyökeres. You go get Alvarez, I'm scared. Yeah, so go and do it. Go put the money on the table. Yeah, and then go and get a left winger. Yeah, and then, bro, that's your serious club then. You're serious. If you go and do that, Bruno G, striker upgrade, left wing upgrade. Wow.
Why do you feel there are so many Arsenal fans, including a lot of the guys that are often very critical of Arsenal? A lot of you'd put them in maybe the Arteta out category. Why do you think so many are so defensive of Victor Gyökeres and so protective of him, even when there is a possibility of what most would consider to be a clear upgrade?
Because I think they know he can score goals, which I agree with. It's been proven. And they feel that if he was played in the right system, I've never actually had this conversation, so I'm just saying what I think it might be. If you played Gyökeres in the right system, the guy would bag a lot of goals. I'm not denying that. It's actually undeniable because we've seen the proof at his last club, and I think he actually scored quite a few goals at Coventry, if memory serves me right. So it's undeniable that the guy knows where the back of the net is. My point is, I don't think Arteta plays a system that gets the best out of Gyökeres. Now that's fine because Arteta won the Premier League, but something's got to give. You either change, because for me, I think they kind of play. I wouldn't say they play with 10 men, right? That's a little bit disingenuous, right? But I kind of feel they play with like 10.5 men on the pitch when Gyökeres is playing, because I don't think they play the system that gets the best out of him. I've said many times, as a rival, yeah, the worst player I'd see for Arsenal from a scared point of view is Mikel Merino up front. I'd rather play against Gyökeres than Mikel Merino as a rival. Swear down, no lies, no cap. Yeah, swear to God, I'd rather play against Gyökeres than Merino. Now that's not necessarily Gyökeres slander, because for me, Merino suits the team more. So you either change the tactics to fit Gyökeres' style, which for me, you've got to get the ball into him quick, which doesn't help when you play inverted wingers because they always want to cut back, right? And you've got to be quicker. Whereas Arteta doesn't play quick football. It's slow, pragmatic. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. They won the league. Nothing wrong with that. The point is, I think there's better players that are suited to that system. So for me, I just think upgrade. Get a player that
just came back out, the update of him saying he's going to stay, which we're going to read in a second. But the news broke by, well, it was actually Tom Canton media, so it's not like it's terrible rumors. Tom Canton is a very trusted journalist and a news aggregator in the sports space. But he said this morning, which we did breaking news on, Miles Lewis-Skelly has been offered to Chelsea following Arsenal signing of Bruno Guimaraes. No indication yet on whether Chelsea make a move for the 19-year-old has a long-term interest from the Blues. Had long-term interest from the Blues. Before we go and give the update of what's happened from Hand of Arsenal, the Athletic and all that, Lee, just your thoughts on that. Like, when it first come out, then, like you said, you saw it. Were you shocked by it? Because there's been people sniffing around Miles Lewis-Skelly for even the back end of last season. I know Everton was sniffing around him. Man United, I spoke about in the other video as well. And then Chelsea are now putting their name into the mix. He's a quality player. He is young. Everything that I think a lot of teams want. And obviously Arsenal, on the other flip side, I always said, look, it's pure profit if they do sell him. So there's money there. But what did you think when you saw it? Were you annoyed? Were you happy? Were you saying that we need to offload some of these youngsters? Because even Ethan's been touted to be moved on as well. What were you thinking?
I mean, my annoyance with, if he had gone. If Miles Lewis-Skelly played for West Ham, Wolves, Brighton, any of these other teams, Ethan, they played for Brentford, any of these other teams, we would be looking at them. And we would be, he would be a Bournemouth version of Alex Scott. Right, so why Arsenal would even think about selling him other than for the pure profit point of view? Because he's a quality midfielder. I mean, Cess, we were both there. We watched it live in the flesh, the Champions League final. We were both there. The guy played in the Champions League final. He played in it, and for I would say for at least the first 65 minutes, he looked every bit of a Champions League winner. He did. Yeah,
facts.
It's only because we tired as a team. We sat back a little bit. I don't think we had that star quality, which is why, and obviously we missed Timber, which I think is why we lost the game. Ultimately.
Weeks, the Argentine forward has been surrounded by speculation, with Barcelona emerging as a potential destination. But if that route has now collapsed, Arsenal could suddenly find themselves with a much clearer path. And that is where the word hijack becomes important. Arsenal don't necessarily need to create a transfer battle if Barcelona are no longer pushing. Instead, the Gunners could take advantage of the situation and accelerate their own interest before another club steps in. Alvarez would give Arsenal something very different. He isn't simply a striker who waits inside the box. He can drop deeper, link with midfielders, press defenders, move into wide areas, then suddenly appear inside the penalty area. That versatility could make him an especially attractive option for Mikel Arteta. But there is another enormous story developing elsewhere. Enzo Fernandez to Manchester City for £120 million. If that figure becomes reality, it would represent an extraordinary Premier League transfer and potentially reshape the midfield landscape. Enzo has already established himself as one of Chelsea's most technically gifted players, and losing him would force the Blues to rethink their midfield structure. For Manchester City, however, the attraction is obvious. A midfielder capable of controlling possession, switching play and progressing the ball under pressure fits the type of football City have built their identity around. A £120 million deal would also send a message. City wouldn't simply be adding depth, they would be signing a player expected to have a major influence on their next chapter. Then there is Lewis-Skelly. Manchester United's reported interest adds another fascinating layer to the story. The Arsenal Academy graduate has developed into a remarkably versatile young player, capable of operating from the left side while also stepping into midfield.